I'm doing a rad project for school, and I got to read a book of my choice, and I chose The Vincent Boys by Abbi Glines. I've already read this book around 4 times probably. I absolutely love it. It's a great book. I would highly recommend it, especially for teenage girls looking for just a fun, realistic fiction novel that has some romance in it and also some sentimental kind of parts. So I'm going to give you a quick summary. So basically it's about these 3 people, Ashton, Bo, and Sawyer. And Bo and Sawyer are cousins, and them and Ashton were all friends since childhood. And then when they all grew up, Sawyer asked out Ashton, and she's been his girlfriend ever since. And although Bo and Ashton were a lot closer when they were younger, they kind of lost touch over the years because being Sawyer's girlfriend, Ashton felt like she had to be a goody-two-shoes kind of Miss Perfect girl, and Bo was always kind of known as the town bad boy. So in this book, though, Sawyer goes on vacation over the summer to hang out with his little brother, and Ashton and Bo have a chance to reunite and kind of rekindle their friendship. So it takes place in a small town in Texas, and it's one of those towns where everybody knows everybody. And so, first of all, without any spoilers, Ashton and Bo become friends because she sees him one day, and him and his girlfriend are drunk, and they're basically sitting in a parking lot, and Ashton sees them, and she doesn't want them to drive home. And she knows that Sawyer would want her to go help Bo and his girlfriend Nicole get home safely. And so Ashton does that, and Bo's always kind of flirty with her. And so he was flirting with her even though he was drunk and everything. And Ashton gets him home safely, and the next day she finds a little note on her car saying, like, thanks for the ride, I appreciate it, and all that. And Ashton is all alone. Her best friend is always working or with her boyfriend, and then Sawyer is out of town. So Ashton goes to visit her grandma a few times, which she's really close with, but other than that, she has nobody to hang out with. So she texts Bo to hang out and just kind of talk about things, I guess. And then they meet each other by this old spot in the lake, and their chemistry is almost undeniable. And both of them are just falling really hard for each other. Both of them is really attracted to the other, and they kind of have a crush on each other. But the thing that's standing in the way is Sawyer, because Ashton's dating Sawyer, and they both love him because Bo's his cousin, and he loves Sawyer like a brother, and Ashton loves Sawyer as a boyfriend. And so they can't do anything. Anyways, now I'm going to give some spoilers, so go away if you haven't read this, because it's going to spoil the book for you. So basically, Ashton and Bo hang out a lot more over the course of the summer and end up, you know, falling in love with each other and doing things that shouldn't be named. And then this really sad part happens because Ashton's grandmother dies, and she was really close with her grandmother. And she, as soon as she found out the news, the first person she thought to go see was Bo, because it was her best friend in childhood. He's starting to become her best friend now, and she just goes and he comforts her, and that's when their relationship really is prominent, because that's basically the turning point of just friends to in a relationship and in love, because they basically, she's so sad, and Bo feels bad for her, and and he's comforting her, and they just forget about Sawyer. Like, they don't care right now. They just need to be together for everything. And then Bo is really supportive of Ashton the entire time during the funeral and memorial service for her grandmother and everything. And so they have this whole summer romance, and they both feel really guilty because Sawyer keeps, emailing both of them, talking about how good his trip is, and like hoping everything's all right, and feeling bad that he's not there. And so they both feel really guilty, but at the same time, they're in love. And one of the main big parts of this book, why everything is so oriented towards them getting together, is that Ashton thinks that she can be herself around Bo, and she can't around Sawyer, because around Sawyer she has to be Little Miss Perfect, goody two-shoes, like pastor's daughter, everything, and she feels like she can't do anything around Sawyer, and she also feels she doesn't feel desired by Sawyer, and she just, like, all he will ever do is, like, give her a peck, a kiss, and she realizes that she's actually really unhappy with him because she can't be herself. And with Bo, she's not scared to hide anything, and both of them just have a great time together being themselves. And so that's why they end up being together. And then Sawyer ends up coming home early, and he kind of notices that they became friends again, and he's okay with it because he felt guilty because he felt as though he broke up their friendship originally by asking out Ashton. And then eventually, through Ashton and Bo kind of making flirty glances at the other one and sneaking around together, Sawyer finds out that they obviously had a summer fling or something, and he gets really angry, and he goes to, like, chase after Bo, and he finds Bo in this bar where his mom works, and they get into a big fist fight. And then here's the biggest spoiler of the entire book, so if you haven't left by now, I suggest you do, because it spoils everything. So basically, as they're fighting, Honey, Bo's mother, comes out, and she's like, "Stop hitting your brother like that." And the two cousins look at each other, like, confused, but they also kind of realize what she's saying. And she said that instead of being cousins, they're brothers, and that Sawyer's father is also Bo's father, and Bo's father was Sawyer's father's brother, and he was nice enough to take Bo under his wing, but he also died at a young age. And Sawyer's father, who is also Bo's father, just completely abandoned him. He wrote him off. He didn't want his, like, white trash, trailer trash son from this, like, basically kind of slutty girl that he had an affair with while he was married. So he wrote off his son, like, he didn't even care. And so Bo, like, was sad and went into hiding. And then Sawyer was upset, and he was upset with Ashton, and he just, like, his whole world turned around. And so Ashton was getting bullied at school. Word got out, and Bo's ex-girlfriend Nicole was causing all of this trouble and pouring soda on Ashton's head and writing slut in, like, red lipstick all over her locker. And the whole school would, like, drop her books to the ground and put these notes all over her locker telling her what a horrible person she was. And she was being bullied for an entire week, and Sawyer didn't say anything. And then in the end, Sawyer tells Ashton why he was being that way, and because he was dealing with everything, finding out that Bo was his brother, and Ashton was still trying to find Bo. And in the end, Sawyer basically gives them his blessing almost, because he's like, I'd rather you be able to be yourself, like, I still love you, but you and Bo are basically meant to be and everything. And so they end up together, so that's really cute, and it's a cute little romantic ending. And then there's also a second book by Abbi Glines about the same characters and story, and it's called The Vincent Brothers, and it's actually about Sawyer getting with Ashton's cousin named Lana, who's apparently always had a crush on him. And if you get this book, you can read the first chapter of The Vincent Brothers, and there's a little picture of it on the back, and then the last chapter is kind of cool. I really liked this book, and I really liked the narration, and I loved how it was written. I loved it so much. It's written from both Ashton and Bo's perspective, not Sawyer's perspective, but it's written from their perspective. So basically during the same scene, you get two perspectives, like each chapter is either Ashton or Bo, whoever's talking, and it's really great because you can see the different feelings that both of them are feeling, and it's kind of awesome because as the reader, you know when something is going to happen because the other one will say something and then one of them will do it. And it's also awesome to see what one character is thinking as opposed to their dialogue when it's in the other character's perspective. But it's really cool, so I'm going to show you how the perspectives, so see, it says chapter 2, and it's Ashton's, and then, and chapter 3 is also Ashton, but then see, then it's Bo and his perspective. So I really like that. I really like reading from two different views, and I normally don't like books with the boys' point of view, but it was really great with both of them. I mean, I would suggest this book for teenage girls, probably not younger than high school, like not middle school or anything, because there's a few kind of racy parts in it that I don't think would be suitable for somebody that's not in high school. And I don't know how interesting it would be to adults. It's definitely a young adult book. It's very relatable, even if you're not like falling in love or in a relationship or anything. Boys, I mean, they could read it. I don't know how much they'd enjoy it because it is a pretty girly book. It's written by a girl, so even the boy's perspective is kind of just what a girl would think a guy would say. So, like, I don't know, he says some weird stuff, like about how hot Ashton is, and basically, like, thinking the same things as Ashton's, but wording it differently. So, I mean, the author was really good at that still, though. I would probably give it, like, 4 out of 5 stars. I mean, I love it, absolutely love it. I mean, obviously, I've read it 4 times now, but, it's probably not for everyone. It is definitely more of a romance book, but obviously there's a few plot twists in it, and I really suggest reading it. So, yeah, bye guys.